Hello guys, welcome back to League One predictions for week 3. We are back for the third week of League One predictions and I am joined by the king of predictions, Benjamin Bloom. How are you?
I'm not going to stand on ceremony, Matt. I think we need to talk about a copper bottom super smash 4-pointer. So who cares how I am? Let's get into how last week went.
Yes, on the screen now are the results from last week. And as you can see, myself and Benjamin Bloom drew 11-11, which does mean with the previous week on top, Ben is ahead by 1 point. But the standout prediction is Ben's 4-pointer, Mansfield 3, Burton 3. Ben, how do you do it?
So what I do is I get an octopus and I put a load of balls in attack and he puts them. But no, I thought you had me this week, Matt, because you had a couple of bob-ons as well yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, I suppose the theory is true with Nathan Jones and the Charlton 1-0.
Fair play.
Reading 2-0 as well. But yeah, we both got a few 1-pointers backing Huddersfield and Birmingham. And yeah, like I say, I think we both did pretty well on the whole. Let's get into some more predictions. Before we do that, guys, can I just say again, your support has been amazing. Please, it takes 2 seconds to get involved. Subscribe to Benjamin Bloom, who is in the first link of the description. If you haven't already, get involved. Subscribe over here as well. Make sure to drop a like. We'll go for 1,000 likes on this video. And yeah, just once again, I want to say we appreciate your support. And we'll get into the predictions, Ben, with Burton versus Stevenage. Last week, Ben, Burton involved in that bonkers 3-3 draw away at Mansfield. And that's a 3-2 defeat at home and a 3-3 draw away in their first 2 games. As for Stevenage, they fell to a 2-1 loss to Huddersfield, but it's not the end of the world, obviously, with Huddersfield just coming down. What do you make to this one? Is it a close one to call?
So the theory is lots of goals with Burton and probably Stevenage losing. I know Burton haven't got a win yet. So I'm thinking on those grounds, both teams to score and a Stevenage defeat. I don't know if that's where you were going. So I won't go. It's not going to be lightning strike twice, Matt, is it? I won't go 3-2. I'll go 2-1. I'll chuck that straight in. Burton 2. Stevenage 1. Have you got your pen out already?
No, it's not a scribble. It's not a scribble. I'll tell you what, Ben, I have got 2-1, but the other way. I've gone for Stevenage. Yeah, I think I can see why you're going for Burton with that need to get the first win. But so far, Stevenage have fairly impressed me. And if they could take anything from last season into this season, you know, they got the win against Shrewsbury, gave Huddersfield a decent game. There was a big miss. I think it was going viral. Elliot List's miss. I don't know if you saw that. That was a big opportunity missed. And they look all right. They look like they could be, you know, competing in mid-table, possibly top half. And Burton, I want to give them credit for a crazy game, but they've only taken a point away from it. So on this one, I will go for Stevenage, but we're both going with 2-1ers. Let's go, Ben, to Stockport County, who are at home to Bristol Rovers. Stockport, 2 wins for 2, Ben. Are they going to make it 3 wins for 3? What are you thinking before we do our predictions?
I'm thinking I owe you an apology on this one because you went all in on Stockport and I was a bit more conservative and they battered Blackpool 3-0, didn't they? So I think I need to eat some humble pie and file in behind you and on the platform to get on the Stockport train, don't I?
I have backed 2 wins for 2 for Stockport, but one thing I've also done, Ben, is backed Bristol Rovers to win and draw their first 2 games, which they did. And a 0-0 at Rotherham is decent. So Bristol Rovers are not to be taken lightly, but big picture, I think the momentum is definitely with Stockport. You look at their journey, their rise, and if they can capitalise on this good run, keep winning. If we get to game week 10 and they've won 8 games, all of a sudden we can be like, yeah, they could actually be top 2 or 3. So take it 1 game at a time, but I think this will be another one where they just do enough. 2-0 Stockport.
Yeah, and you're right. They haven't conceded a goal yet. Actually, Bristol Rovers haven't conceded a goal yet. So we're thinking low margins. But again, as I say, I'm getting on the Stockport train now. I'm going to go all in with you. So you've taken the 2-0. It makes every sense that a Stockport win, a clean sheet. Stockport 1, Bristol Rovers 0.
Did I force your hand there a little bit, Ben?
I was happy to have it forced, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I think I could see us both being right there. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Do share your thoughts, but at the same time as us back in Stockport, I do want to give Bristol Rovers credit for a decent start to the season so far. On to the next one, Ben. We'll go to Oakwell. Neither of us did back Barnsley to go and get the win at Lincoln, so we will give them credit and a bit of a surprise from where we were concerned. Can they build on it and make it 2 wins from 2? They take on Northampton, Ben, who, once again, neither of us backed to win last week, and they did. So, fair play to both of them. I just think with the expectation and now the home advantage, Barnsley have got to be my favourites, but you're up first.
Yeah, I agree with you, Matt. I'm going to back Barnsley. It looked nice and direct, and don't get snotty about that. The Cosgrove goal and Mark Roberts hurling long throws in and heading in the second. But, if that's going to be the launch pad, you were praising Lincoln rightly, and it's a really good result to win away there. So I'm going to go Barnsley to go back-to-back here. Let's go for a Northampton goal as well. So we'll go for Barnsley 3, Northampton 1.
Yeah, and I'm going to go for the same deficit, just a goal less for each team. I'm going to go Barnsley 2-0 on this one. Maybe, that result at Lincoln, like you say, is a platform to go off for Darryl Clark and the Barnsley players. But, Northampton, I think they got a point at Oakwell on the final day of last season, so I won't rule them out of possibly getting something. It's very unpredictable, but I do think this is maybe where we start to see Barnsley come into a bit of form potentially. So we'll move on to the next one. It's Cambridge at home to Blackpool, Ben. Massive game all of a sudden. 2 defeats for 2 for both of these. A draw obviously gets them both off the mark, but 1 point in 3 is not great. So they've both got to try and look for that win. I don't know. What do you reckon?
I reckon I'm probably going to double down on Blackpool, even though I've been wrong about them both weeks so far. But let me plead the fifth, and I might react slightly off what you're going to say first.
Yeah, I see. I'm slightly leaning towards Blackpool, but I wouldn't be entirely surprised with a draw. As I said, I don't think either team will be over the moon with a draw, but it just gets them going. They both lost at home last week, didn't they, against newly promoted sides. Blackpool's defeat was, really bad, of course. Stockport really rolled them over. But Cambridge, fair play to you for backing Crawley to win 1-0 there, but that was a poor result for Cambridge. I'm going to go Cambridge 1, Blackpool 2. I just think based on, once again, expectations and the fact I think Neil Critchley will get Blackpool at least in the top half of the season, they've got to get the win here. So 2-1.
Yeah, that's a scribble for me. That's what I was going to go for. So let me take your narrative on the unhelpful draw then. We'll take the winning goal off Blackpool. So in my reality, it's going to be 1-1 and the goal will get disallowed or something at the end of the game. And we'll say Cambridge 1, Blackpool 1.
There you go. Go for a draw. They both get moving though, don't they? Okay, on to the next one, Ben. I like this. This is definitely a mouth-watering matchup here. We've got Charlton versus Bolton. It's another sort of old Premier League matchup from the early 2000s. And two sides that have had decent starts. Charlton in particular grinding out those 1-0 wins. Left it late against Leyton Orient, but they did the job. Bolton, they didn't concede last week, but they couldn't turn their sort of dominance, I suppose, into 3 points. They had to settle for a 0-0 against Wrexham. A few things are pointing towards a potential 0-0 here, Ben, but you're up first. So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking, first of all, I don't like this one little bit because this seems really hard to call this early in the season, doesn't it? And Bolton went 0-0 with Wrexham, didn't they? Sam was doing the co-coms on Sky for that one, if you tuned in.
Oh, brilliant.
So maybe we need to get his take before we do this prediction first. But I don't know whether to leave it open for you for the third straight Nathan Jones 1-0. But you feel, Matt, Bolton are going to have a lot of possession in this game and Charlton might counter-attack them. Oh, it seems too obvious. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it away from you, mate. Charlton 1, Bolton 0. I know you've copyrighted it, but I'm having it.
I should have patterned it, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you know what, Ben? That's not a scribble for me because I have not written down 1-0. I've written down 1-1. I think you compare Bolton to the two teams Charlton have played so far, and this is now a step up. No disrespect to Orient and Wigan, but Bolton are really good at this level, and I would be very surprised if they're not in the top 4 or 5 again this year. Yes, as I say, they couldn't make their dominance turn to goals against Wrexham, but maybe they'll learn that lesson and go out and get themselves at least 1 goal in this game. So, yeah, with it being Nathan Jones, I don't think I can go high scoring, and I fancy them both to be up there this season. Before the season, I had Bolton higher, but I'm going to settle for a 1-1 draw here. So, yeah, both going relatively low scoring there. Okay, Ben, let's go down to Devon. It's Exeter City versus Peterborough. Peterborough are back.
And Kwame Poku, Matt, what a double that was. So I love it when you see a player do it twice in one game with kind of different goals as well. So yeah, echo your sentiments. Peterborough are back, the goals are back, and we'll see if you're going to call an away win, Matt.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, with some of the ingoings and outgoings, Poku is a cracking player for Peterborough to hang on to. Really good at this level, and really could be the difference for them pushing forwards this season. Yeah, I mean, after that great result at Shrewsbury, given especially that they came from behind to win that game, it'd be a fool not to go for them. And I think I'm a fool here, Ben. I backed Exeter to beat Rotherham on the opening week. Now, I know they lost to Northampton away last week, but I'm going to go for a little surprise here and go 2 wins for 2 at home for Exeter. Exeter 2, Peterborough 1.
That's bold. And that leaves the door wide open for me to just flip that scoreline clearly, doesn't it? So it seems a bit boring going for the kind of slight favourites. Both teams to score always for Peterborough as well. Let's throw in another Poku goal then into the prediction for a bit of fun. Exeter 1, Posh 2.
Yeah, like I say, I've left you a tap in there. But who knows? It's really hard, isn't it? I mean, like we said, we didn't really anticipate Exeter to beat Rotherham, so you never know. Okay, let's go up to Huddersfield Town. They take on Shrewsbury, who were, of course, victims to that 4-1 defeat via Peterborough. And Huddersfield, 2 wins for 2. They got the job done, which is the main thing against Stevenage, 2-1. I think we both backed them to win by 2 goals, though. Do we go for them to make it 3 from 3, Ben?
I think we do, don't we? Matt, I saw something I really didn't like in that Peterborough-Shrewsbury game. Their third goal for Posh went in, and straight from the kickoff, a couple of passes by Shrewsbury. They didn't want the ball. They didn't want to be on the pitch. Gave it straight back to Peterborough, and they scored again. That does not smell good. So, emboldened, Matt, by getting a bonus point last week, I want another one. And I'm so sorry, Shrewsbury, to do this. Huddersfield 4, Shrewsbury 1.
Yeah, I'm not going for a bonus point here, but yeah, similar in a way. I'm going Huddersfield 3-1. I agree. It smells a bit, doesn't it, at Shrewsbury? And I think you look back to that first game week when they played Stevenage, and that was a really big game to set the tone. They lost it 1-0, and they've gone down with a whimper against Peterborough. I don't fancy them away at Huddersfield, who've been pretty good so far. But once again, it'd be typical of League One for Shrewsbury to now turn up and Huddersfield to be complacent, but I don't see it. So we've got a 3-1 and a 4-1, and then we go to the capital where Leyton Orient take on Birmingham City, who are now up and running, Ben. And we went low scoring, and then they went and won 3-2 at Wycombe. But the main thing is they got the 3 points this time.
Feels like a big win, that, doesn't it, for Chris Davies? You know what Wycombe are like. It's so hard to play against, especially at Adams Park. And I've got the numbers in front of me as well. 74% possession, 7 shots on target for 1.45 xG. That will do Birmingham the world of good. I think they're going to go to Leyton Orient a bit more chest puffed out and a bit more confident.
Yeah, it's a difficult one for Orient because you look at these first 3 games: Bolton, Charlton, Birmingham.
That's not fun.
No, it's certainly not. It probably will get a bit nicer. In fact, looking at the fixtures, they've got Shrewsbury next week, which, after what we've just said, Orient might fancy their chances. Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, Orient have got to be desperate to try and avoid that 3rd straight defeat, but it's just a matter of quality here, which I think Birmingham are going to get it done. Do you know what? I'm going to even scribble out my own prediction here. I did have 2-0, but given that Orient are going to be so desperate to try and get that first point, I'll go 2-1. I just think, though, that ultimately Birmingham, the quality will shine through. And as you said, that win against Wycombe gives them confidence and a platform to go off for them.
I will take your scribble and I will steal your Leyton Orient 0, Birmingham 2, which in scribbles eating other scribbles is what I was going to say anyway. I think we might see something comfortable. And I mean, boringly, we're just waiting for Birmingham to click in gear and go on a 4, 5, 6 game winning run. I think they might do a big winning run at some point during the season. But it's just hard. We know the EFL Saturday, Tuesday, as Mick McCarthy used to say, away games. It's hard to get winning streaks, especially in League One. But I think we might see one from Birmingham. Maybe we might have to wait until spring when the pitches are nicer and some international breaks are gone. But yeah, certainly a 2-game winning streak is not beyond the realms of possibility.
Yeah, 7 points from 3 games is still a fantastic return.
Yes.
And yeah, like you said, it'll be a matter of time until we go really hard on a Birmingham 4-0 win or something. Okay, let's go to the next one, Ben. Lincoln versus Mansfield. These two have been involved in some really bonkers games so far this season. Lincoln, what was it? It was a 3-2 win at Burton, followed by a 2-1 home defeat to Barnsley, wasn't it? Mansfield involved in that 3-3 draw last week. I'm not sure, to be honest. I make Lincoln slight favourites with the home advantage and with a slight more quality to compete for a playoff place this season. But Mansfield have shown what they're about and they're scoring goals, haven't they?
Yeah, I agree with you. It feels like maybe both teams to score and Lincoln slight favourites, but I don't want to say too much. Let's hear what your prediction is, Matt.
Is it me up first, Ben? I think it might be yourself.
Is it?
Yeah.
Didn't get away with that one, did I? So I will do what I was suggesting. So do I go 2-1 or 3-2? Look, we had silly success with Mansfield last week, so you'll notice this is a theme with me. If something works one week, I am definitely doing it the next week. So go on. I'm playing for another bonus point. Lincoln 3, Mansfield 2.
Ben. Oh dear. You've stolen my bonus point prediction. I just think, like you said, you put those results together from both sides so far, and it serves up surely a goal fest. Do you know what I'm going to do then? Just because I hope your prediction is so wrong now.
Nil effing nil.
Flip mine and go for my 0-0 now. I'm sorry to the Lincoln and Mansfield fans. Not much logic there, but for the logic that when you get so many goals, it sometimes just flips on its head and you get a 0-0. Once again, I'll reference to Lincoln's incredible defensive record last season. I know it's not been true this season, but let's go for that then, and a surprise 0-0, but I don't really see it. On to the next one then, which is Wigan versus Crawley. And now I'm thinking to myself, I haven't played my bonus point because you stole it. I'm going to have to work out where it's going to go. I don't think I'm going to go for it here. Now, you've been really good with your Crawley predictions, Ben.
Yeah, I have a tactic when it comes to Crawley that I am not going to be giving away until I've heard what you've got to say. But this is tricky, isn't it? Going up to Wigan. So, what you got for me, Matt? Yeah,
I'm up first here. Wigan yet to win, and in fact yet to score or get a point, actually.
Oh, okay.
So it was Charlton, and last week, of course, they lost to Reading. Two decent teams, if we're being honest. Wigan fans will potentially lick their lips at this one, but let's be honest, Crawley, 2 wins for 2. You know, they're there for a reason. They've been good. I just wonder if that Crawley bubble bursts and do we get a really big Wigan win? I don't know about that. I'm going to go for Wigan here. I have a feeling you're going to go for Crawley again, and I'll go slight. But I don't know if it's sensible to go for Wigan. I'm sure they'd be the favourites on the odds. I'm going to go 2-0 Wigan. I don't know why.
I really want to go for Crawley. Crawley are not going to win their first 3 games, are they? Surely not. If they do, Scott Lindsay is Pep Guardiola, basically, isn't he? But I think they could still be at 7 points from the first 3. So maybe they'll get a late equaliser or go behind and equalise. I'm going to go for a boring 1-1, but I'm still on the Crawley train in that case. Wigan 1, Crawley 1.
On to the next one then, Ben, and we have Wrexham versus Reading. And I'm now thinking to myself, I haven't played the bonus point, so do I go for it here? Wrexham involved in a crazy game against Wycombe, 3-2 on the opening day, and then it was 0-0 against Bolton last week, but that is still 4 really good points. And speaking of 4 really good points, the same has to be said for Reading. They obviously got the draw at Birmingham on the opening day and then went and beat Wigan 2-0 at home last week. Pretty comfortable. So both sides on 4 points. Do they settle for getting to 5 points each, or does one of them feel greedy and snatch the 3 points to put them on 7, which would be a really good start? I think this is your prediction first, Ben, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I'm impressed with both, actually. We knew Wrexham were going to be good, but I think Reading as well the whole world was watching Birmingham, expecting them to win on opening day, and Reading ruined the party. I might try and make a big call here and go all in on Reading and call for the away win with both teams to score. I'm going to go Wrexham 1, Reading 2. Yes,
so from what I saw from Wrexham's performance at Bolton, Ben, very dogged. Keeper had a good game, but there was that element of they couldn't quite turn the point into 3, and they had to settle for a draw, which is obviously a great result given the chances Bolton had and possession and stats. I just feel it could be similar against Reading. Reading have looked good quite early to make a massive forecast. But if they keep up what they're doing with the stability off the pitch, I could see them having a really good season. I will go for the draw here. I'm not 100% sure if I'll go for Wrexham, but I'll go for the 1-1. I will go for Reading to play some good stuff, but Wrexham to get themselves up to 5 points as well. And if they could just keep themselves close to Reading, they might both be in the playoffs this season, which would be interesting considering the journey these two clubs have come on to meet in the middle in League One. And then that takes us, Ben, to the final game, which is Wycombe v Rotherham, which was a championship game a couple of years ago, wasn't it? And I haven't played my bonus point, so let's chuck it in here. And Wycombe have lost their first 2 games 3-2.
Here we go.
Rotherham are going to win 3-2. I've not backed them yet this season, Ben. I did back them to lose to Exeter, which they did, and then to draw to Bristol Rovers, which they did. I now think this is where Steve Evans will turn it into 3 points. And yeah, do you know what? Wycombe, so competitive, very good at this level. But let's go for a third 3-2 defeat.
So this is going to go one of 2 ways. Either there's going to be loads of balls in the box, excitement, blah, 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 goals, which is what you've gone for. So I'd better go for the close your curtains if this was on in my back garden possibility. And there's the potential for the ball to not be in play very much in this game, isn't there? So let's go for a real turgid. I haven't played a 0-0, no shots, no XG, lots of prohibitive, cautious football, let's just say, from both sides, and a clean sheet for both and a point for both, but not the spectacle you're predicting, Matt. Wycombe 0, Rotherham 0.
I love that this week, Ben, for the games we've gone for bonus points, the other has gone for a goalless draw.
It's just rogue behaviour on both our parts. To be fair, you started it.
I know, I can't point the finger when I did it first. But do you know what? We said after game week 1 there was no 0-0s, and then last week we had 2. So who knows? There might be 1, there might be 2 this week. But that wraps up League One predictions for another week, Ben. I'm loving it, but I do need to catch up. You're still 1 point ahead overall.
Yeah, and I'm just dining out on that 3-3 draw. So let's hope there's something equally fluky, stroke brilliant this week, Matt. But again, pleasure for having me on and reading the comments, loving all your feedback. And as I always say, Matt, there are two types of people in this life. There are people who make predictions, and there are people who comment on people who make predictions. Make your own predictions. Get them down there in the comments.
Yes, exactly. Be a man, not a mouse. Get the comments in before the games start. I completely agree with that and concur. Yeah, get your comments in. Don't come here afterwards. Okay, if you did predict it correctly, you can come back and then say something. But not if you didn't beforehand. Guys, before we sign off, please do make sure to get involved supporting the both of us. We've got lots of exciting stuff coming up on our channels. So hit that link in the first of the description, first line. Check out Benjamin Bloom if you haven't already. And I insist you do so. You are missing out if you haven't. Make sure to subscribe over here and drop a like. And yeah, there's lots to look forward to, isn't there, Ben?
100%. I'm just getting match fit and into the season now.
That's it. Thank you once again for joining me, Ben. And we will see you guys next week. Take care. Peace out.